Well, to Parliament, where Home Affairs Minister Hlengiwe Mkhize and the department's Director General Mkuseli Apleni failed to appear at a parliamentary portfolio meeting this morning to discuss the citizenship of the Gupta family. Apleni is said to be in the parliamentary precinct, but attending to business with the National Council of Provinces. Some portfolio committee members are proposing that the matter be dealt with today, even after hours, but others are refusing. Former Home Affairs Minister Mkuseli Apleni has said that there is nothing irregular about the naturalization of the Guptas. Well, for more on this story, we cross now to our parliamentary reporter, Lukhanyo Kalata. Lukhanyo, good afternoon to you. So, a bit of controversy around the no-show of the Minister and the DG at today's meeting. Any clarity as to why they did not show up?
Natasha, good afternoon. Unfortunately, no clarity as to why exactly the DG, who was expected to be here this morning, did not show up. The minister, too, we also don't know why she also didn't pitch. What we know, though, is that this was going to be the first meeting following yesterday's announcement by Parliament that it is investigating, essentially, this whole Gupta leaked email saga. And Parliament was supposed to then have like its first hearing into the matter. We're starting with the naturalization of the Guptas. The DG was supposed to be here. He didn't show. We understand, as you've rightly pointed out, that he is on the precinct, but I think he's dealing with a budget vote in the National Council of Provinces. Whether or not the DG will make the time to come and meet the MPs from the National Assembly side, on the MPs on the Portfolio Committee on Home Affairs, that remains to be seen. Up until this stage, we still don't know whether or not the DG will make the time to come and meet with these MPs. Natasha?
All right, so it has been postponed, and when they resume, let's look at what's under discussion, as you have mentioned that naturalization issue. Let's look at the reasons why Parliament is getting involved and investigating this.
Natasha, I think Parliament sent out a statement yesterday, and in that statement they made it clear that there's been a lot of reports that have been in the media that that have become public, and these reports dealt with a number of government ministers, cabinet ministers that are somehow involved in this whole leaked Gupta email saga. So now Parliament wanted to get to the bottom of this for its own purposes, because I think Parliament had seen that it was starting to lose a lot of credibility with just ordinary South Africans who had been reading stories after stories after stories involving cabinet ministers. So I think Parliament wanted to get involved and to try in some way, to make itself heard and make itself seen to be doing something about a very critical issue that affects the executive. Natasha?
All right, there has been talk that the former Home Affairs Minister, now Finance Minister Mkuseli Apleni, will be called to this meeting. How likely is that?
Well, at this stage, Natasha, it's highly unlikely. What the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee said a little bit earlier on was that for them, this Portfolio Committee no longer has oversight over Minister Mkuseli Apleni, as you rightly pointed out. He's now in finance. So for this committee to be able to call that minister, it would mean that the committee decides on setting up an inquiry, and then under that inquiry be able to summons Minister Gigaba to come and appear before it. Whether or not that is a decision that the committee will take, it remains to be seen. But at this stage, that is the process that they will have to follow, other than obviously the minister making himself readily available, for the committee, despite the committee not having the oversight powers over him. But at this stage, it looks highly unlikely that the minister will appear before the committee, unless, of course, the committee decides to set up an inquiry and then call the minister in under the auspices of that inquiry. Natasha?
All right, Lukhanyo, thanks so much. We'll leave it there. Our parliamentary reporter, Lukhanyo Kalata.